Most people don't realize that waiting is the state keeping their life the same. And while there is a transition period between imagining something is yours and it showing up in the physical, that doesn't mean it's not happening, and it doesn't mean that it's not already yours. A great way to look at this is if you're at a restaurant and you order food, you know it's coming. You don't worry about if it's not going to be made or not. You've placed your order, and now you're free to enjoy the appetizers, the breadsticks, or the conversations you're having. You're anticipating the order you're made, and you're not waiting anxiously so that you can know for sure that the order has been placed. Now, the state of waiting can show up in two ways. The first way looks like you place your order, and now you're standing outside the kitchen wondering what's taking so long. And that experience just drags on the sense of waiting. There's that saying that a watched pot never boils. So when you're constantly checking, it's going to extend that feeling of waiting and reinforce the idea that you don't have what you want. You're not experiencing your desires here and now when you're constantly bugging the chef to see what's going on. And the second way waiting can show up is by not actually ordering. When you want to go eat at a restaurant, you don't sit at home thinking about going to a restaurant, and you don't stand outside the restaurant thinking about the food. And when the waiter asks what you want, you don't just stare at him thinking about what you want. What happens is you read the menu, something catches your eye, and you imagine something about it. And odds are you imagine that it tastes good, and then you place your order. So in other words, if you only think about your desire and don't embody the person or imagine yourself to be the person who has it, you're going to be waiting for a really long time. With that being said, there's a lot more to the experience of life than there is to the experience of eating at a restaurant. People will throw you off the horse, or things will happen that will make it seem like your desire is getting further away. And how to deal with this is just remember that you are not this character. What you are is imagination. Because when you get lost in the character you're playing, you're going to see all of those events outside of you as indicators of things that may or may not be true. But when you know you are imagination, and you know imagination is reality, when you imagine something, you know you're free to experience it now. And you know you're free to experience the appetizers and the conversations that life has to offer. And while you're enjoying the appetizers or conversations, you're free to anticipate your order arriving. And I mentioned how eating at a restaurant and the experience of life aren't the same thing, and a really big difference between the two is the experience of life. You're allowed to order as much as you want. There are an unlimited amount of things on the menu. So when you get focused and wait on one thing, it's going to feel like forever for it to come true. But when you remember that you are your imagination, you're free to imagine any desire as yours as it comes up. And maybe one is taking a long time, but it's not going to matter because the appetizers you've ordered are already here, and you get to enjoy those in the meantime. So know that reality is literally waiting on you. It's ready to take your order, and all you need to do is imagine yourself to be the person you desire to be, who has what you want, who makes the income or has a relationship. Whenever a desire comes up, place your order and know that you are imagination, and imagination is reality, and you're free to experience your desired reality here and now, and you're free to enjoy the appetizers and everything else that life has to offer in this experience. If you want to explore your imagination further, you can dive deeper in the Mystic Manifestation community on School. Subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.